The headlines. Bandits kill Imam, invade worshippers during mosque attack in Kaduna. INEC removes name of former petroleum minister from candidate list from Bayelsa governorship election. Former SGF Adamu Fika dies at 90. And from the international scene, Israel to refuse visas to UN officials as at least 5 killed in raids in occupied West Bank. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us, and now the details. We'll start with security. Bandits have attacked a mosque at the Ga'ala Baba village near Sabon Layi in the Birnin Gwari local government area of Kaduna State, killing the chief imam of the mosque and 2 others worshippers, while 2 others sustained injuries. 2 more worshippers who sustained the life-threatening injuries were rushed to the Jibrin Maigwari General Hospital. The community leader, Zubair Abdul Rauf, said the incident happened in the early hours of Tuesday when the Muslims were observing their morning prayers. According to him, the bandits were returning from Zamfara State through the Kamuku forest near Kuriga village, and upon seeing the Muslim faithful observing morning prayers, opened fire on the worshippers, killing the chief imam and 2 others. Police are yet to confirm the incident, while lamenting the constant attacks by bandits in most communities in the local government. Abdul Rauf, who called on Northwest governors to urgently set up a joint security task force that will include conventional security agencies and local vigilantes to flush out the bandits from their enclave. The Delta State Police Command on Tuesday paraded 5 suspects for offenses ranging from murder, kidnapping and rape. Recovered from the suspects were 1 AK-49 rifle, 2 magazines, 1 locally made double-barrel gun and 2 live cartridges. Parading the suspects at the police headquarters in Asaba, the public relations officer of the command, DSP Bright Edafe, assured residents of adequate security during the Embers month. Jonathan Awanyai tells us more.
Among those paraded on Tuesday was a 46-year-old proprietor of a private school in Agbo, Ika South local government area, for allegedly defiling a 4-year-old female pupil of the school. Also paraded was Najo from Wiki, a father who was alleged to have flogged a teacher to death in Delta State for disciplining his son. 3 others were paraded for allegedly kidnapping within the Warri metropolis.
And the child repeatedly told the investigators that this particular uncle of hers defied her in the school premises. And this was made obvious because there's what we call identification parade, where the suspect was placed alongside other males, and the child was asked to identify who defied her. Incident in Agbo, where a parent who, out of anger that the child was manhandled in school, according to him, the child was flogged and there was a mark on the child's body. He went to the school, and according to him, when he saw the teacher who flogged the child as identified by the child, he took a cane which he saw at the school. In an attempt to flog the teacher while there was this fracas ongoing, the victim, who is now late, one Ufa Sunday.
As I carry cane where they the table, I want whip and the other teacher say no. Ma leave me the principal call. If the principal call, I go report the matter. Now it's okay. Time of my market don't reach to me to go my market. I went out. Before my daughter call me, say that uncle way they look them, don't fall for that. Don't fall for ground. Now rush come back. That be the matter.
That it was in the night when she was beating her that she started seeing the blood.
Where the uncle fall.
They said it's not possible to have a girl raped
come me say my
and she will walk very well like that. They not change the story.
They won't carry the man.
My younger brother was there when they interviewed the girl. They brought out the penis and brought out a razor blade. She pointed razor blade.
The Delta State Police Command also assured Deltans of a crime-free Ember months. Jonathan Awanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
The federal government has reiterated its commitment to provide the armed forces with the needed support to enable them to protect Nigeria's territorial integrity. The Minister of Defense, Badar Abubakar, stated this when he paid a working visit to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, at the Defense Headquarters in Abuja. The report.
Since assumption of duty as Ministers of Defense, this is the first visit both the Minister and the Minister of State are paying to the Defense Headquarters. Upon arrival, the Minister of Defense, Badura Abubakar, in the company of Minister of State, Bello Matawale, and other officials from the ministry, inspected the quarter guard. In his remark, the Minister of Defense, who commended the armed forces for their unrelenting fight against insurgency in the country, said the Tinubu-led administration remains committed to providing all the needed support in the fight against insecurity.
We also want to commend you for the efforts toward boosting the morale of the troops in operation areas as you conduct regular visits and other inspirational programs to our forward-fighting troops. The ministry will continue to support you in that regard.
Earlier, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, while appreciating the ministers for their enthusiasm towards properly managing the armed forces for effective service delivery, called for more funding, training and capacity building, as well as improved welfare to boost the morale of the military.
Issues of accommodation for personnel, I think that's one important thing. We are yearly recruiting almost 20,000 personnel, both officers and soldiers, on a yearly basis. And the need to make sure that they are properly accommodated cannot be overemphasized.
The CDS, who pledged the support of the military to the present administration, also appealed to stakeholders in the forthcoming off-season elections to make the polls hitch-free.
Ahead of November 11th governorship election, Timipre Silva, the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress APC in Bayelsa State, is facing yet another hurdle as the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) releases amended list of governorship candidates in the state, excluding him and his running mate Joshua Makiva. The situation has already thrown the supporters of APC into anxiety, with many comparing it to the situation that prevented the party from governing the state after winning the 2019 governorship election. According to the amended list uploaded on the Commission's website on Tuesday, Silvers and his running mate were excluded due to the October 10th Federal High Court order that disqualified him from participating in the state's governorship election. The list signed by the Secretary to the Commission, Rose Orianran Anthony, had the column for the names of APC candidates and his running mate left blank with remarks court order. Disqualifying Silva and his running mate a few weeks ago, Justice Donatus Okorowo held that having been sworn in twice and ruled for 5 years as governor of Bayelsa State, Silva would breach the 1999 constitution as amended if allowed to contest again. But the APC Gubernatorial Campaign Council, while reacting to the exclusion of its candidate, urged the party supporters not to be deterred. The Director of Media and Publicity of the Campaign Council, Perry Tukuwe, in a statement on Wednesday, said the party's lawyers were already on the top of the situation to get victory at the appeal court. In health, polio survivors in Kaduna say that they are still faced with stigma and other challenges affecting them in the society. According to them, despite having the capacity to contribute to the nation building, they are, however, being neglected due to their condition. They were speaking on the sidelines of the 2023 Polio Day, marked annually on the 24th of October. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more.
The day provides an opportunity to highlight global efforts toward a polio-free world and honor the tireless contributions of those on the front lines in the fight to eradicate polio from every corner of the globe. while joining their counterparts the world over to mark the day. These polio survivors are lamenting the challenges they face in the society.
Most of the challenges that person with disability face is mobility. For instance, now accessibility to buildings is the most important, is the most challenging.
I had to squat to her level while interviewing her, but despite her condition, Lami David went to school and is now serving as a co-member. Although her dream is to get a job after her service here, she is, however, entertaining the fear that her condition may be a barrier.
We have a lot of challenges from people outside. Sometimes, in terms of opportunities, they see us as if we are not capable of doing anything. Yes, so they limit us among others.
With the removal of fuel subsidies, still it's taking toll on Nigerians. With the attendant increase in cost of living, these polio survivors say they are not exempted.
Most especially assistive device. If it is high, a person with disability without, let me say, without working, how will he earn that money? As now that everything is high cost.
Rilwani Muhammad is the Kaduna State Chairman, Association of Polio Survivors of Nigeria. He says only legal backing could end the stigma and other forms of discrimination they face in the society.
Well, one of the key challenges we encounter is discrimination, is accessibility. When I talk of accessibility, it means a lot. Issue of movement, going one place to another, issue of employment, issue of discrimination by the society, even lack of provision from the side of government. These are some of the problems we encounter as a result of the deformity we are having today. That is why generally issue of disability, we advocate for a law that will protect our interests, that will make provision in terms of employment, that will make provision in terms of our livelihood. So these are some of the discrimination we encounter or challenges. And if you talk of discrimination is very broad.
Although efforts have been on for years to eradicate the polio virus, but resistance of polio vaccination by parents brings setback in the fight against the disease. According to the head of Social Welfare Disability Board, Kaduna State, Aisha Adamu.
Up till now, in this time and age, people do not believe in vaccines. There is no harm in vaccinating your child. Make sure your child is vaccinated as soon as he is born to avoid these issues of polio. So, and we have issues, especially at the grassroots level, especially those in the LGAs.
Though the future is looking bleak due to the challenges they face, their dream, however, is to have a society where they will be given equal opportunities to contribute to the development of the country. But how will that be possible is their main concern. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, on Monday called for the investigation of the quality of medical education offered to Nigerian students studying medicine in some foreign countries, especially Ukraine. The Plateau State NMA chairman, Bapigan Williams, who made the call during a press conference to mark the 2023 Physician Week in Jos, the Plateau State capital, warned against lowering the standard for licensing foreign-trained doctors. Ado Musa completes the report.
This year's Physician Week, with the theme, "This is our chance to get it right in the health sector," focuses on many challenges facing medical doctors in the country, warning government at all levels to take necessary actions to deal with such problems. While calling for a thorough investigation into the quality of medical education offered abroad, the group voiced its support for the umbrella body of Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria to maintain the standard of the profession in the country.
Those that pass the licensing exams are not aliens. If one cannot pass, then one should seek help and try again. We wish to especially call on our beloved National Assembly to resist being used under any guise to compromise the quality of healthcare delivery in Nigeria. If Nigerian trained doctors and dentists are poorly trained, they won't be in high demand worldwide. Our government should immediately investigate the quality of medical education being offered to our children in Ukraine. Let us stand up in defense of the health of the average Nigerian. As the great physician Hutchison said.
The chairman further described the level of insecurity, including kidnapping and banditry, among others, which he described as major causes of brain drain in the country.
The menace of kidnap of doctors and dentists and their relatives have become a daily event to the point of desensitization. The government and our fellow citizens are no longer moved by our plight because all we see is lip service. For us, the saying, "In the midst of life, we are in death," is an existential reality. In fact, in the midst of work, we are in death. We and our relatives have lost our fundamental right of freedom of movement.
The chairman, who lamented the current economic hardship that has negatively affected their members, also hoped that the government will not wait for another round of agitation before implementing what has been circularized since July 2023. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
You're watching news updates on Trust Television. Coming up, we'll take a look at effective methods for palliative distribution. These and more after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. We brought you bandits kill imam and invade worshippers during mosque attack in Kaduna. And INEC removes name of former petroleum minister from candidate list from Bayelsa governorship election. Moving on to more stories, some business owners and residents in Asaba, the Delta State capital, have lamented the poor distribution of prepaid meters and epileptic power supply by the Benin Electricity Distribution Company, the BEDC. The residents who appealed for improved power supply to ease their business operations also urged the Electricity Distribution Company to stop the estimated billing system and provide them with prepaid meters. Trust TV's Jonathan Awayai has more.
The electricity consumers who spoke with Trust TV decried the persistent epileptic power supply in the area, as well as the outrageous bills they are being charged.
I call it a level of exploitation, of a level of mass mentality for BDC to be talking about estimated billing. Do you know why? Now, here is a body, an organization that can't even guarantee 2 hours light in a day. Sometimes for weeks and months, you don't get light in some parts of Asaba or North Panam. That's how bad it is. Yet, at the end of the month, a group of persons who call themselves BDC staff will come and say they want to bid you. They want to read meters.
Meter and there's no light. It's just like one of the decorations you have in your houses. But if there's light, then you see that revenue will come up. Because if you buy 2,000 naira, which is not the normal thing that most people buy, within 1 week, it's finished. The next week you buy again. And then you generate revenue. So if you don't give her these meters, you won't generate revenue. And even when you give her these meters and you don't supply the light, the same thing will fall back to zero.
BDC in Asaba and Delta in generally, their performance is very, very poor. Most times, like transformer, when the transformer is down or faulty, they hardly do maintenance. It is the users that will contribute money.
They expressed sadness over what they described as extortion and called on the company to install the prepaid meters in their areas, which according to them are more pocket-friendly for the common man.
Since I've been posted here, I've discovered that we don't really have a power supply here. We don't really have power supply. What we have here is just occasional. It just gives you occasional joy. When you see the power supply, people will rejoice. But in 5 minutes, they will take.
Prepaid meter. BEDC is not doing well. Because even before you even apply for the prepaid meter, you have to go, extra mile in, applying. And
like they say, we should pay for prepaid meter. We have paid. We have not been given. Every month they will bring estimated bills. There are times they will bring 50,000 for 2 rooms. There are times they will bring 40,000, just like that.
While intensifying the clamor for prepaid meters as the only way out of their dilemma, some of them accuse the Benin Electricity Distribution Company, BEDC, of extortion and unnecessary delay in supplying prepaid meter, even after payment. According to them, the only way the customers will be satisfied is when they have prepaid meters and are sure that they only pay for electricity they consume. Jonathan Awanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Common group discussions in Benue State at the moment is related to or about the hardship currently faced by Nigerians as a result of inflation and removal of fuel subsidy. The residents of the state are losing hope with the palliative measures pronounced by the government. They kick against some of the modalities put in place. Trust TV's Jimmy Atzande tells us more.
While the government claims to be working on strategies, the masses are going through difficult times. They are not confident about what the government can offer because of antecedents of the social investment programs in the past.
Now, what happens in Nigeria is that each time there is an attempt to provide palliatives, the problem with it is that the first thing, government spends more in implementing the distribution of the palliatives than the actual value of the palliatives themselves. So the chunk of the cost of providing these palliatives is more than the value of the palliatives that is usually provided. So that is the fundamental problem with the issue of palliatives in Nigeria. And sometimes government choose what the people do not even need. And even when they choose what the people need, the quantity that gets to the people is insignificant to make any significant effect in the lives of those for whom the palliatives are provided. So I think that government needs to sometimes look at peculiarities of people in the different communities.
Sure P. COVID-19, flood disaster palliatives and other social investment programs in the past were marred with corruption.
Some people will apply for this palliative and be expecting it to never reach to them, to be only on paper or on social media that the story of palliative will be said. For instance, somebody in the interior village, particularly in interior land, who are interior villages, who have never known or heard anything palliative, have never enjoyed, but most people who are privileged in the government always say that it has already been distributed, and in real sense, they are not there. Nobody will tell you that he has enjoyed it or not. And one thing I want to advise the government is that the issue of palliative is not bad, but it is said that for you to give one a fish, you better make one to be catching the fish himself.
The residents agree that the intervention should be targeted towards peculiar needs of the people.
That money can be channeled towards buying fertilizers and then empowering the youth in relation to agric, and also bringing much more farm inputs for people. And also another aspect is we have IDP camps where people are residents there, are there, especially for Benue. They are just being there and not located back to their own ancestral homes.
The living condition of many residents of Benue is pathetic, and it gets tougher every day with rising PMS prices and inflation in Nigeria. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Adamu Fika, has died at the age of 90 years. The elder statesman, who had been battling with a health-related challenge for some time, died mid-flight while returning from a London hospital to Kaduna late Tuesday evening. The funeral prayers for the Waziri Fika will hold at Sultan Bello Mosque in Kaduna later Wednesday. Late Adamu Fika was born in Fika, present-day Yobe State, in 1933. He had an illustrious civil service career and later served as a PRO councillor and chairman of the governing council of the Ahmadu Bello University, ABU Zaria. He was also the chairman of the board of trustees of the Arewa Consultative Forum, ACF. The Waziri Fika began his educational journey at Kaduna Government College and the Nigerian College of Arts, Science and Technology, now known as Ahmadu Bello University. He held several significant positions, including permanent secretary of various federal ministries, such as Internal Affairs, Commerce and Communications. He also served as the head of civil service of the Federation and made invaluable contributions to the development of Nigeria. And now from the international scene, at least 5 people have been killed by Israeli fire as the Israeli army carried out a number of overnight raids in the occupied West Bank, according to the Palestinian officials. The Palestinian Health Ministry said 3 people were killed early on Wednesday in an Israeli air attack on the Jenin refugee camp. 2 more young people were killed during raids in Galkilia and Kalandia, respectively, it added. And with this, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.